common saying that the world isn't just black and white, that there are many shades of gray in between. And I think that somewhere in those shades of gray is a rainbow, and that's where we live. Or at least that's where I live. Because I see the world in a mixture of hues, of purples and yellows and tinctures of blues. I see a world full of vibrant colors, though sometimes I wonder if what I see is the same for all of the others. Because what is color, I ask, when seen through my eyes or yours? Is the blue I see the same blue you see sweeping the shores? Do you even see the ocean as blue, or is it more of a green to you? Perhaps the yellow of the sun distorts the blue, as the mixing of these primary colors may do. But if it is green that you see, well, that's just fine by me, for green is a color that's full of life, which unfortunately right now is causing some strife. For what happens when the green of the world begins to fade and disappear? What happens when I open my eyes to only have brown appear? Would you think it cowardly of me if at this point I begin to feel fear? Because what can I do should the brown continue to spread? What happens when the brown gets stained by red, a color from which not many good things are said? Unless, of course, we refer to that red of a rose, a color from which true love does transpose, a color that blooms no matter what we say, a color that I hope to show someone someday. But who am I to request such attention from someone, from you? I'd tell you the answer if I first only knew. But who am I is not something stated in one simple word. Who am I must be experienced, shown, seen, and heard. So I'll start by saying that I am a hero, dressed in armor of the purest white in the video games that I play at night. And let me first add that let me just ask, the last time that you fought evil, apologies. Let me just ask, last time you fought evil, I don't remember what I was going to say there. I am a baker, my cheesecakes divine. I assure you it's the best you'll ever have tasted. I assure you just one bite and not a crumb will be wasted. All I ask is to please sit and enjoy the flavor, for what is the point of eating if you cannot sit and savor? If you do this, I promise that I will be happy. And yes, I realize that this has all sounded quite sappy, but I make no apologies for these things I've just said, for I've spoken the honest truth rather than keep it all in my head. A difficult task, but one that I am happy to do, for I understand the relief that comes with speaking something so true. I understand that happiness in life isn't always so easy to come by, that happiness in life isn't something to just let run by. It is akin to walking on a thin glass of ice in the winter, where one slight misstep could cause it to crack and splinter. I am afraid, for I realize that life is like looking through a one-way mirror, where I can control what others see or hear. Like showing the color yellow when what I'm really feeling is blue, because I'm afraid that showing could make me feel something new. But some events in life will cause this glass to shatter, because I know that some statements in life need to be made, else nothing will really matter. I am gay, a statement that was so difficult for me to say the first time that I actually had a friend say it for me. It was like a game of 20 questions where she asked and I answered, and to this day it is the most stressful game that I have ever played. Because rather than questions, I saw them more as keys, each one testing the lock to the prison in which I sat on my knees, wondering if one day I might have the strength to stand as tall as the trees. I am a son with two parents who, while they struggle with what it means to have had a child such as me, a child who sees colors differently, makes progress every day, whose love for me has caused them to challenge their perceptions enough to say that under no condition will they ever say they don't have a son, an assurance that just for a moment made me not want to run. I am loved, a statement so powerful that there are no words or rhymes to do it justice. It is simply something I know to be true, because I have seen that red of a rose from which true love does transpose, and for that I am thankful because I have friends who, rather than simply open the door to my prison, decided to instead tear it from its hinges, dismantling the walls as part of their mission, saying, "Never again will you stand alone," a kindness to which I fear I will never atone. Because of you, my friends, my gratitude cannot be measured. Because of you, I feel truly treasured. Because of you, I am free. I am me. As powerful as can be, I am a storm hurling lightning at the sea. I am anger and sadness, happiness and joy. I am emotions on a canvas of colors so twisted it's a wonder my heart isn't set to destroy. I am a rainbow of colors, a kaleidoscope, all crashing into one another, creating wavelengths incapable of being seen, but what can be seen creates a picture of pigments constantly changing and overlapping with one another. And perhaps that is what makes this question of who I am so hard to answer, so difficult, and maybe perhaps impossible to answer, because I am changing, I am learning, I am growing. I live on a rainbow with colors as far that I can see. And I just wonder, do you see the same colors as me? Clearly I messed up a little bit. I finished writing it completely on Sunday. But I have been thinking about this. I started writing, so this actually started out as two separate poems that I included into one, which is why there's the separate kind of idea. It started out as like a poem about colors and how we perceive them, and then I slowly transitioned to it about a poem of also describing how I view myself and who I am, and I decided to combine them. So, yeah.
Do you publish any of this?
So this is this. So if you can go online, in the last Kachakucha that I did, I don't know if you have done two. In the spring I did one, and that was actually the first spoken word poetry that I ever done. This is the second. So.
Wow.
It would be boring. I'd probably say it's blue.